The warm glow of brass lanterns and crystal chandeliers bathed La Maison Étoile in an amber hue as waiters in crisp uniforms glided between tables. Laughter and clinking glasses filled the air, punctuated by bursts of applause as the birthday celebrant made a toast. Seated at the center table, Adaora beamed in a seafoam green gown, her dark curls cascading over her shoulders. Across from her sat Damilola, her fiancé, handsome in navy velvet, raising his glass in a private salute. Adaora's heart fluttered at the sight. Tonight was supposed to be perfect. She reached for his hand, smiling. "Can you believe we're finally here?" she whispered, voice trembling with joy. Damilola's lips curved into a practiced smile. "You look radiant," he replied, his tone warm, and for a moment, Adaora believed everything was as it should be. But as the dinner progressed, she sensed a subtle shift. Damilola's eyes darted toward the entrance every time a new guest arrived. He checked his phone more than once, his thumb hovering over the screen as if expecting a call. Adaora tried to ignore the tiny knot of anxiety tightening in her chest. When he raised a toast to new beginnings, she toasted back, unaware of the storm brewing. Moments later, midway through a plate of truffled mashed potatoes, Damilola cleared his throat, standing so abruptly that his chair scraped the marble floor. The room quieted in curiosity. With a theatrical sweep of his arm, he lowered his voice so everyone at the table could hear. "Adaora," he began, "you've become a liability, someone holding me back from my true potential." Gasps rippled through the restaurant. Cameras flashed. Even the cherub-faced waiter froze, spoon hovering midair. Adaora stared at him, mouth agape. She only managed a choked, "What are you talking about?" before he turned on his heel and stalked away. The room erupted in whispers and sympathetic murmurs. A bystander's phone, always poised, caught every second. Adaora's face, red with hurt, became the unintentional star of a live stream titled #EngagementFail. And just like that, her world shattered. By the next morning, Adaora's phone buzzed incessantly. Headlines scrolled, "Bride-to-be humiliated at dinner," and "Fiancé dumps her live." She swiped numb-eyed through Instagram and TikTok, each clip edited to loop her tears. The caption on one read, "Basic broken bride cries over bougie furniture." On Twitter, memes replaced her smiles with crying emojis plastered over her face. Adaora's stomach lurched as notifications multiplied like wildfire. Her best friend, Ife, burst into her apartment, phone in hand. "Ada, look at this," she cried, tapping a screen showing Adaora's wide-eyed betrayal. "They're roasting you harder than Suya and Ikeja." Adaora wiped a stray tear. "Why won't it stop?" she whispered. Her voice cracked. Ife wrapped her arms around her, but Adaora pulled away, furious and humiliated. A message pinged. "Where's your sense of humor, queen?" The internet loves a dramatic meltdown. Adaora's vision blurred. She smashed the phone onto the couch cushion, heart pounding, breath ragged. Ife sat beside her, offering a glass of lukewarm water. "You're not basic, Ada. They don't know you." Adaora's jaw tightened. I can't face the world today." Her voice was hollow. Ife nodded, steeling herself. "Then don't. Let me handle calls and messages. We'll sort this out." But when the door clicked shut behind Ife, Adaora crumpled, sinking into the depths of shame. In that moment, she vowed to reclaim her dignity, no matter what it took. A stern knock at dawn shattered Adaora's uneasy slumber. She stumbled to the door to find a uniformed landlord clutching a notice. "Vacate premises within 24 hours." Damilola had cut off the rent, citing irreconcilable differences. Her hands trembled as she gathered the few belongings she'd left behind in haste the night before. Her designer shoes lay abandoned by the door. She slipped on battered flats instead. The streets of Suralira awoke around her. Street hawkers hawking akara, yellow Danfo buses rattling by, the faint hum of prayers from a nearby mosque. Adaora paused before her late mother's shuttered tailoring shop, once a place of vibrant chatter and colorful fabrics. The wooden signs still read Mom and Gozi, bespoke designs. Dust motes danced in the morning light. She pushed open the door. Inside, mannequins stood draped in moth-eaten lace. Bolts of fabric were strewn across tables. Adaora swallowed hard. Memories flooded back. Her mother's laughter as she stitched evening gowns. The smell of fresh cotton combined with the tang of her mother's perfume. Now it was silent, abandoned. She flicked on a single overhead bulb, its flicker reflecting her own unsteady courage. With tears sliding down her cheeks, Adaora whispered, "This was our dream." A soft creak behind her made her spin. It was Mrs. Olalai, the neighbor. "Child, I heard about your troubles," she said gently. "You can stay here for a while. But mind the shop, my grandson might come sniffing around." Adaora nodded gratefully, voice catching. "Thank you, Auntie." As Mrs. Olalai left, Adaora sank onto a tattered stool. Her heart pounded with grief and determination. If her fiancé thought he could bury her, he hadn't counted on her rising from the ruins. Night fell and the downlights of the empty shop cast long shadows. Adaora lit a single desk lamp and retrieved her mother's sewing kit, scissors, pins, colorful threads. She pulled out Mama's leather-bound journal from beneath a loose floorboard. Its pages brimmed with sketches of flattering silhouettes and painstaking notes on client measurements. With trembling fingers, Adaora flipped to a fresh page and wrote, Chapter 1, House of Adaora. She cut into a scrap of teal Ankara fabric, the scissors gliding effortlessly, as if guided by her mother's hand. Stitch by stitch, she formed the outline of a fitted peplum top. Each click of the sewing machine sparked a familiar rush, a healing balm. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the hum of the motor and Adaora's measured breathing. She found herself talking to the empty room. "Mom," she murmured, "I hope I'm doing this right." Her voice cracked, but she pressed on, smoothing fabric edges. She envisioned the day she'd see her creation on a confident stranger, light bouncing off her proud smile. Tears fell, but they were cleansing now. By dawn, she'd completed her first prototype, a simple blouse stitched with precision and heart. She held it up, tracing the seams as though reading an old letter. "This is for you and for me." Word of a hidden designer began circulating on private WhatsApp groups. At a bustling pop-up in Ikoyi, guests in breezy linen jackets examined racks of elegantly tailored pieces, each tag branded, House of Adaora. Adaora, face half concealed by a silk mask, moved among them, taking orders in hushed tones. No one suspected the quiet woman behind the counter was the same viral sensation from weeks ago. Mid-afternoon, a striking woman in sunglasses and an oversized hat approached. Her voice was low when she spoke. "I want that top in ivory, size medium, and a matching skirt." Adaora's breath caught. This was her first full-price custom order. With steady hands, she measured her mysterious client, jotting notes in a leather-bound notebook. Their eyes met briefly in the mirror. Adaora saw respect there, not ridicule. A week later, Adaora received a direct message on Instagram. "Just posted your design on my page. 500K followers. Keep shining." Attached was a photograph of a celebrity stylist draped in one of Adaora's jackets, captioned, "Obsessed with this Anon designer's smiling face with heart eyes, hashtag House of Adaora." The post exploded. Likes, comments, shares. At last, Adaora tasted honest acclaim. As she read the notification, a slow smile curved her lips. The world had mocked her. Now it was celebrating her. And somewhere out there, Damalola would be watching, realizing too late that the woman he humiliated had become unstoppable. Night after night, the tiny Surrealire shop glowed like a beacon amid shuttered storefronts. Inside, Adaora sat hunched over an overflowing inbox on her battered laptop, the screen's light illuminating her determined face. Each new message in the orders folder was a surprise. One day, an email from a boutique in Victoria Island requesting 50 custom-made skirts. The next, a DM on Instagram from a retailer in Abuja ordering an entire capsule collection. House of Adaora had become the industry's best-kept secret, and now everyone wanted in. Adaora rubbed her eyes and dialed her best friend Ife's number. When Ife answered on the second ring, her voice crackled with excitement. Ada, you will not believe this. Jumia just asked if we could feature House of Ade in their next Rising Stars segment. Adaora pressed a hand to her mouth. Jumia? That's huge. Her heart thudded so loud she wondered if the phone would pick it up. But I don't even know how to manage that many orders. If we don't step up now, someone else will swoop in, Ife warned gently. Let's hire an assistant, even part-time, to help with production and shipping. I know someone. By dawn, a petite graduate named Talia was interviewing in the back room. She was bright-eyed and efficient, shuffling through Adaora's hastily assembled fabric swatches and order sheets. I've interned at a textile factory, she explained, and I can coordinate suppliers and couriers. Adaora felt a surge of relief. Finally, someone to share the load. That afternoon, they worked like a well-oiled machine. Talia confirmed measurements, Ife updated the Shopify page, and Adaora cut and stitched prototypes. The rhythm of the sewing machine was almost meditative as pieces emerged one by one. By evening, the first batch of 10 orders was packed and labeled, ready for dispatch. Adaora sealed the last box and exhaled, a bittersweet smile playing at her lips. A ping from her inbox made her start. It was an email from a high-end boutique in London. Your designs have us enchanted. We'd love to carry House of Ade for our next season. She blinked. London? Her breath caught in her throat. It felt impossible and exhilarating all at once. As she shut down her laptop, Adaora whispered, "This is only the beginning." But beneath her excitement lurked a sliver of doubt. Could she keep up the pace and keep her identity secret if the orders kept coming from places she'd only dreamed of? A week later, a discreet envelope arrived bearing no return address. Inside was an invitation on thick, cream-colored paper. You are cordially invited to attend the Lagos Fashion Guild's private preview. No designer name. Only a silhouette of the House of Ade logo embossed in gold. Adaora's pulse quickened as she read it under the dim light of her desk lamp. This was where the industry's insiders congregated, stylists, editors, buyers. If they accepted her work, her brand would leap from underground sensation to mainstream must-have. On the night of the preview, Adaora arrived before sunrise to the Ikoyi Mansion turn venue. She wore a tailored black pantsuit of her own design, her face concealed by a silk mask embroidered with delicate gold thread. Through the mansion's arched entrance, she glimpsed a crowd of impeccably dressed professionals sipping champagne beneath crystal chandeliers. From behind a velvet rope, she overheard two stylists murmuring, "Stylist A, have you seen the viral pieces? The draping, it's genius." Stylist B, "And we still don't know who's behind House of Ade. Whoever it is, they've got the Midas touch." Adaora allowed herself a quiet smile. She slipped past the crowd to a back room where racks of her latest samples were displayed. One by one, she studied how the soft ochre blends caught the light, how the peplum tops flared just so. She could almost hear her mother's voice whispering encouragement. Moments later, she was joined by Kemi Ajayi, a red carpet stylist with over 1 million Instagram followers. Kemi held up a mint green blazer from the rack. "This is exquisite. The cut, the fabric, who is she?" Adaora's pulse raced. She steadied her voice and replied, "House of Ade." Without unmasking, she added, "I'm the creative director." Kemi's eyes widened. "The same House of Ade? I've been dying to meet you." She scribbled Adaora's contact info. "We have a celebrity client looking for something fresh. Will you consider a custom look?" Adaora nodded, chest tight with pride. As Kemi slipped away, another voice murmured at her elbow. It was an editor from the Style Ledger. "I want an exclusive feature. Would you grant an interview?" Inside, Adaora's breath wavered. She imagined a magazine spread with her face, finally revealed, as the genius behind the brand. But she forced herself to stay silent. "We'll discuss terms," she said evenly. She turned away, leaving the editor curious and eager. Walking back through the crowd, Adaora felt a dizzying blend of exhilaration and fear. The whispers that once mocked her were now praising her, yet she remained invisible. How long could she maintain the mystery before the world demanded her unmasked? That evening, Adaora scrolled through her feed and froze on a sponsored post from Lekin Lifestyle magazine, a cover photo of Damilola and his new girlfriend, Sheila, aboard a luxury yacht in Dubai. They were laughing, champagne flutes raised, the Arabian skyline glowing behind them. The caption read, "Power couple goals. Damilola and Sheila take over the world." Adaora closed her eyes, a cold knot tightening in her chest. Memories of that fateful dinner flashed, Damilola's sneer, the humiliation seared into her mind. And now he paraded his victory on social media, oblivious to the secret storm she was brewing. Her phone rang. It was Ife. "Ada, you okay?" Ife's voice was gentle but firm. Adaora swallowed. "He's moved on." She tapped the screen, freezing the image of Damilola's smug grin. "It's like I never existed." Ife's sigh was sympathetic. "Let him have his spotlight. We have schedules to finalize and bodies to dress for next week's magazine shoot." Adaora drew a shaky breath. Ife was right. Her world was no longer defined by Damilola's approval. She tapped a reply to the Lekin Lifestyle post. "Congratulations to Damilola and Sheila. Funny how life turns full circle." Then she deleted it, deciding to let her work speak louder than words. Meanwhile, in a high-rise penthouse, Damilola and Sheila were celebrating with influencers and brand ambassadors. Sheila beamed, oblivious to the DM alert blinking on Damilola's phone. "House of Ade wants a private collaboration. Respond ASAP." Damilola glanced at the message, then at Sheila swirling her drink. "I'll handle it later," he said with a casual wave. His smug tone only fueled Adaora's resolve. She would eclipse his brand, and his heartbreak, with mine. As the night wore on, Adaora shut down her laptop and stood in the moonlit doorway of her shop, looking out at the quiet street. The distant hum of Lagos nightlife pulsed through the walls. She placed a hand over her heart. "Not only have I survived, you'll see how I thrive." A month later, Adaora stood in a glittering showroom in Victoria Island, the very space that only weeks ago had seemed beyond her reach. Spotlights bounced off the glossy floor as mannequins dressed in her crisply folded jackets and fluid dresses formed a semicircle around her. Journalists and buyers milled about, wine glasses clinking, murmuring admiration. But she remained behind the velvet curtain, heart pounding. Today was her first unmasked public showing, and her brand's most important debut. Beside her, Ife whispered, "Remember the plan. Walk out when they announce House of Ade, then let them see the woman behind the magic." Adaora nodded, fingertips grazing the cool fabric of her custom tuxedo. A PR agent handed out programs. 10 a.m., House of Ade reveal. At precisely 10, the lights dimmed and a hush fell. A sultry voice echoed from hidden speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, the world has awaited the identity of Lagos's most enigmatic designer." The velvet curtain parted, and Adaora stepped forward. Gasps rippled through the crowd as she removed her mask, revealing sharp cheekbones, bold eyes, and a serene smile. Flashbulbs exploded, and a journalist shouted, "Adaora Nwafor, tell us, how did you build this empire from a rundown shop?" She raised a hand to quiet them. "I built it on persistence, passion, and the spirit of my mother." Her voice was steady, resonant. House of Ade is more than clothes. It's a testament to overcoming doubt. Buyers pressed forward to place orders, stylists jotted down notes, and bloggers streamed live. A top boutique owner said, "We need every look from this collection." Tears pricked Adaora's eyes as she realized she was no longer hidden. When the event ended, a tidal wave of notifications flooded her phone. Iconic. Fierce. Total glow-up. But atop them was a DM from Lekin Lifestyle. "Feature this Friday?" For the first time, she paused. She glanced at Ife. "Let's schedule it," she said softly. Inside, she felt a surge of triumph. Her humble beginnings had led to this shining moment. Despite unmasking herself at the showroom, Adaora maintained an air of mystery. She spoke little about her past, focusing instead on her designs. Within days, celebrities began knocking at her door. Actress Funk Bello requested a cobalt blue evening gown. Musician Black Josie wanted a custom bomber jacket. Each time her phone buzzed, it felt like a benediction. One morning, as she sipped freshly brewed coffee, her assistant Talia showed her a flurry of social media mentions. Adaora is the ghost who haunts luxury fashion. A golden touch, indeed. The compliments poured in from Lagos to London, New York to Paris. It seemed the world was finally awakening to House of Adaora's signature blend of African textiles and contemporary tailoring. But with acclaim came pressure. A terse email arrived from a major department store. We require a minimum of 200 ready-to-wear pieces by next month. Are you prepared? Adaora closed her eyes, feeling both exhilarated and overwhelmed. Ife placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We'll expand production. I'll handle logistics. That evening, as Adaora walked through her shop, she paused before a framed photograph of her mother smiling at a half-finished dress. We did it, Mama, she whispered. We're on our way to becoming global. Yet in her heart she knew, the real test lay ahead, balancing growth with authenticity. Far away, an alert pinged on Damalola's phone. He opened Lekin Lifestyle's draft feature, how Adaora Nwafor, once a viral meme, became fashion's most celebrated designer. His face drained of color as he read the headline. A bitter realization settled in. The woman he discarded had become the force he could never ignore. As Adaora prepared to close her laptop, she drafted a reply to the department store. Consider it done. I look forward to surprising you. She hit send, then reclined in her chair, a slow smile curving her lips. The world admired her talent, but she knew the greatest triumph was quiet and deeply personal. Little did she know, the next door to open would demand a decision that could change everything. The invitation arrived in an embossed envelope bearing the logo of Glamour and Grace magazine. Inside, an elegant card. Exclusive, House of Ade cover story. Reveal your identity at our July gala. Adaora exhaled so sharply the candles on her makeshift work table flickered. She glanced at Ife, who was already buzzing through logistics on her phone. Later that afternoon, the two friends convened in the back room. Talia spread out floor plans and mood boards. We need to plan the reveal like a performance, she said. Lighting, music, the exact moment the editor unveils your name. Ife nodded, eyes alight. And Damalola will be there, invited as a guest under Special Industry Insider. He won't see it coming. Adaora fingered a silk swatch. I'm torn. I want that moment of triumph, but part of me still fears the spotlight. She looked up, meeting Ife's steady gaze. This isn't about him. It's about every woman who ever felt silenced. On the night of the gala, the grand ballroom of the Eco Hotel glittered with Lagos's fashion elite. Cameras flashed as the editor-in-chief took the stage. Adaora stood hidden behind a velvet drape, heart pounding, when the announcer intoned, and now, the moment you've all been waiting for, she stepped forward. The drape fell, and in that instant, the world saw her, poised, radiant, and unmasked. Gasps and applause roared around her, but Adaora's eyes found Damalola's across the room, frozen in disbelief. 3 days later, the magazine's photographer led Adaora into a minimalist penthouse studio overlooking Victoria Island's skyline. White walls, scattered fabric rolls, and a single spotlight awaited. She wore a custom House of Ade blazer, subtle gold embroidery glinting at the lapel, and her hair was pinned back in an elegant chignon. Perfect, the photographer, Chitty, exclaimed. Let's start with 3/4 shots, power poses. He guided her through poses, arms crossed, chin lifted, eyes fierce. Each click of the shutter captured a different facet of her grace. Between takes, the makeup artist whispered words of encouragement. You're glowing. Own it. Adaora nodded, shoulders relaxing as adrenaline fueled her confidence. By midday, the shoot shifted to dynamic movement, silk skirts swirling, Ankara prints flowing like water. Chitty playfully directed, twirling. Faster. Yes, stop there. The resulting images were electric. Adaora's calm strength juxtaposed with fluid motion. That evening, she previewed the shots on a backlit monitor. Each frame was a testament to her journey, from shame and exile to empowerment. "This is everything I dreamed of," she murmured. And with that realization, Adaora knew the world would remember not just her name, but her story. A week after the magazine hit newsstands, Adaora entered La Maison Étoile once more, this time as a VIP guest at an exclusive women's empowerment dinner. The same brass lanterns now seemed to spotlight her arrival. She wore a sleek monochrome dress of her own design, dark skin glowing under the warm lights, hair cascading in soft waves. Guests murmured recognition. Cameras discreetly captured her entrance. At a reserved table by the window, she sat beside the event host, a renowned philanthropist. The menu featured foie gras and champagne, luxuries she once dared not imagine. Champagne glasses clinked as she raised a toast, "To every woman who turns pain into power." Applause rippled through the room. Across the room, Damilola sat with Sheila. He stiffened when he saw Adaora, his face paling as whispers swirled. "Isn't that her?" Sheila leaned in, curiosity mingling with pride. But Adaora met Damilola's gaze only briefly, offering a small, serene smile before looking away. After dinner, as guests mingled, Damilola approached her table. "Adaora," he began, voice tight with emotion. She stood, poised. "Hello, Damilola," he faltered, words catching in his throat. She inclined her head, turned on graceful heels, and walked away, leaving him to digest how far she'd soared while he remained grounded in his regret. Meanwhile, the influencer world turned on Sheila. A former friend leaked photos of her embracing a rival content creator at a late-night industry party. The hashtag side chick scandal trended within hours. Brand deals vanished as quickly as they'd appeared, sponsored posts were cancelled, magazine features withdrawn. A PR crisis erupted. Damilola sat in his penthouse, phone in hand, eyes glazed with mounting panic. His publicist, Mr. Afolabi, paced the room. "We need a statement now. Damage control. Claim it was a misunderstanding." Damilola ran a hand through his hair. "Sheila, she was supposed to be my win." But on social media, the tide had turned. Audiences that once lauded the power couple now ridiculed his judgment. Comments scrolled. "Marriage material," he said. "Disaster material, we saw." Each notification stung like salt in an open wound. As Damilola drafted a press release, he couldn't shake the memory of Adaora's composed departure at the gala. In that moment, the magnitude of his mistake crystallized. He had traded a woman of substance for a mirage and paid the price in public humiliation. Late one night, amidst the wreckage of leaked contracts and scathing headlines, Damilola opened Instagram and typed a private message to Adaora. "Damilola, Adaora, I always believed in you. I'm sorry for everything. Can we talk?" He stared at the words blinking on the screen, heart pounding with regret. But on the other side of Lagos, in her quiet studio, Adaora read the notification. She set down her sketchbook, her twin nieces playing quietly at her feet, and let the message sit. Her phone buzzed again. "Please let me explain." Ife peeked in. "Do you want to reply?" she asked gently. Adaora closed her eyes, recalling every moment he undermined her. She exhaled slowly, then placed the phone screen down on the table. "He didn't deserve my time," she whispered. Ife nodded in support. Adaora picked up a fresh sketchpad and began drawing a new silhouette, one that symbolized resilience and self-worth. Outside, the hum of Lagos nightlife drifted through the window. Within, a peaceful resolve settled over her. She would never look back. At a glitzy product launch for a major cosmetics brand in Victoria Island, Adaora navigated through VIP guests in her signature charcoal sheath dress. Cameras flashed as she passed, but she paid them no mind, focused on the collective gasp that rippled across the room when Damilola and Sheila entered arm in arm. The crowd parted for them, only to catch sight of Adaora. A hush fell, broken by the click of 1,000 smartphone cameras. Moments later, a fan-filmed clip surfaced on Instagram. Adaora and Damalola, walking towards each other, faces impassive. They met in the center of the marble lobby. Without a word, Adaora's gaze locked on his, steady, unflinching. Then she continued on, head held high. The silence between them spoke volumes. In less than an hour, the hashtag silence speaks louder trended. Every media outlet replayed the scene. Her grace, his regret, the pregnant pause that said more than any apology. Backstage, Ife showed Adaora her phone. "You did that," she whispered. Adaora smiled faintly. No need for words when you own your story. As notifications flooded in praise, admiration, empathy, Adaora realized that sometimes the most powerful statement is made by simply refusing engagement. The world watched in respectful awe. A week later, at the Lagos Business Awards Gala, the auditorium brimmed with Nigeria's brightest entrepreneurs. Adaora sat in the front row, her emerald green gown shimmering under soft spotlights. When the host announced, "Young Entrepreneur of the Year, House of Ade," the applause thundered. She rose, heart pounding, and mounted the stage to accept the crystal statuette. At the podium, she touched the microphone. "Thank you," she began, her voice steady. The room fell silent. "I stand here not just for myself, but for every woman who's been told she isn't enough." She paused as flashes illuminated her serene expression. Tonight isn't about revenge. It's about resilience. Cheers erupted. In that moment, Adaora transformed from rising star to inspirational icon, her journey distilled into a moment of pure triumph. News outlets buzzed after the awards. Yet Adaora felt something still unsettled, a quiet ache for closure. Rather than reach out to Damalola, she opened her laptop and penned a blog post titled, "The Power of Shining Privately." She wrote of betrayal as catalyst, of reclaiming agency without rancor, of finding strength in solitude. Her words flowed with unguarded honesty. Within hours, the post went viral, hundreds of thousands of shares, messages from readers thanking her for articulating their own unspoken pain. Fans sent stories of their triumphs, and Adaora replied to each with warmth. In her closing paragraph, she wrote, "You need no apology to heal. Your success is the conversation." And with that, she exorcised the last vestiges of shame, proof that closure often comes not through confrontation, but through self-affirmation. Months later, the House of Ade showroom opened its doors in Paris's Marais district. Adaora cut the ribbon beneath a canopy of white orchids, greeted by editors from Vogue France and buyers from Harrods. She addressed an international press corps in flawless French, Arabic, and English, her mother tongue mingling with new accents. Sales teams in Johannesburg and London phoned in to celebrate their own store openings. In a sleek office overlooking the Seine, Adaora met with a Japanese distributor eager to launch an African fusion line in Tokyo. She sketched designs on a digital tablet between meetings in Milan and Madrid. Wherever she went, media outlets hailed her as the ambassador of modern African fashion. From Surreal's dusty workshop to global capitals, her journey had become legend. In the soft afternoon light of her Lego studio, Adaora sat by an open window, twin nieces at her side, their laughter mingling with the distant hum of traffic. She sketched a new silhouette on crisp paper, a flowing gown inspired by their bright energy. Her pen glided effortlessly, no longer weighed by doubt or past hurt. As the girls ran outside to play beneath bougainvillea vines, Adaora set aside her sketchbook and inhaled the warm air. The once viral moment of humiliation felt like a lifetime away. She had found her power not in public revenge, but in private transformation. Smiling, she whispered to the empty room, "He dumped me publicly, but I learned to shine privately." And in that quiet triumph, far from headlines and hashtags, Adaora discovered the truest form of victory: peace. The end.